Today we're going to be making Snickerdoodle cookies. So first, pour yourself a glass of whatever you like to drink, whatever gets you in the mood to relax, to have a good time, to be a little carefree, just something that gets you in the mood. Doesn't have to be alcohol, can be anything. Once you've got your drink, you want to prep your ingredients. We're going to start with some butter, some granulated sugar, some all-purpose flour, and that in the little container is baking powder and salt. I like to just measure them separately and then add it into the all-purpose flour and give it a good mix, set to the side for when you're ready to use it. Makes things easier, and you're kind of skipping steps if you prep at the beginning. Gonna need 1 egg and then some cinnamon. You'll use that later as well. And of course some vanilla. Next, we're gonna drop in our butter. It needs to be room temperature. However, if you forgot to take it out or whatever, you can always microwave it. Just make sure it does not melt. You don't want melted butter, you want soft butter. Go ahead and turn on your mixer, and you want to let it run for about 10 minutes or so. That's gonna make the sugar and butter nice and soft and fluffy. Next, we're gonna crack our egg. And if you don't know how to crack an egg, it's definitely time you learn. You want to hit it on a flat surface, it's always going to be better. And of course, sticking with the theme, go ahead and add your vanilla to your egg. I like to do this because it's like skipping a step later in the process. This makes things easier, they're already together. You don't have to worry about the vanilla after this. You only use a small amount, so really it's just like get it done, out of the way, you're good to go. And of course, don't forget your wine. The secret to any good recipe is to never to forget to scrape your bowl. Scraping your bowl is just moving everything off of the walls, off the bottom especially, and just making sure that all your ingredients are incorporated. And make sure that your oven is preheating to 350. And our butter is looking good. It's turning a lighter yellow. It looks really nice and fluffy. And we're gonna go ahead and add our egg in after this. Drop that egg in there, and I speed it up just a little bit after to break the yolk and make sure that egg is well incorporated into that butter and sugar batter. And I definitely forgot to film the next part, but after this you're just going to want to start adding in your flour little by little. The batter is going to start to get crumbly, start coming together like a dough, and it's very easy. You really can't mess that part up. Super simple, just add the flour. And once our flour is added, we're gonna just make sure you get all of the dough off the pedal as much as you can. See, pretty clean. And then you're gonna wanna just scrape your bowl again, make sure you're getting all that dough off the sides. Try to get as much as possible into the ball, and we're gonna work the dough a little bit with our hands once it's on the table. So go ahead and dump that dough, and you see it's not really together, it's very crumbly. There's a lot of parts still left in the bowl. Try to get as much of that out. And this is where the stress reliever part comes in. You're gonna want to just start going at that dough with all your frustration and anger. Just start rolling it into that dough. Release your energy, release the stress, let the dough just come together in any way you want to make it happen. It's a little bit of a messy process, but it's fun. It's a good time, you know, if you're not a texture type of person, or you don't like getting your hands dirty, this might be good for you too. Get you out of your comfort zone. It's gonna just make you feel a little bit better. Just focus on this for a couple minutes. It's gonna be great. And as you can hear, I was asking for a little bit more flour from my great assistant, my roommate. And basically, if your dough is a little sticky, you're just gonna add just a little bit of flour. That's not even a teaspoon, people. So just a tiny amount. Roll it in there until basically you feel like it's not sticking to your surface anymore. It's not sticking to your hands. It takes very little flour to get from sticky to non-sticky, so don't add too much because you don't want your batter to dry out. See? Perfect. Give it a good couple slaps, a punch, and we're good to go. So we're gonna take our 1/4 cup measurement and add some sugar to the bowl. Then we're gonna do some cinnamon, and that's gonna make our sugar cookie, Snickerdoodle cookie topping. And this is just to show you the color. It's gonna look like that. You're doing it right. And let's move on to making sure that our pan is lined. You can line it with parchment paper. I wouldn't recommend putting the cookies directly on the baking pan. That's gonna cause even more stress later. So go ahead and use that same measuring cup. Scoop out a big, little, you know, like a sizable amount of dough. Start rolling it into your hands, between your palms, and try to make a ball. It doesn't have to be perfect. Mine isn't. Drop it in that bowl and just start rolling it around, covering it as much as you can with that cinnamon sugar mixture. That's gonna be the Snickerdoodle part, and these cookies are really thick, so there's a lot of surface to work with. Take your time when you fill them up, and they should look something like that. You're gonna repeat the process 11 more times. This dough makes about 12 cookies or so. You want to make them a little smaller, that's fine, or a little bigger, that's fine too. However you want. These are your cookies. And once you have the cookies ready to go, they should look a little something like this. So it's time to pop them in the oven. And just be careful, don't burn yourself, because remember, this is about relaxing. So you don't want to cause yourself even more stress because you were rushing. Take your time. It's your night off. It's your time to just breathe in and wait for your cookies to be ready. So they're going to cook for about 12 to 15 minutes, depending on the size. It's kind of hard to burn these cookies, so you really shouldn't have a problem just putting like 13-14 minutes up there. They're gonna be good. And of course, top yourself off while you wait for your cookies. So they're coming along. Once you start seeing the surface of the cookie cracking, some more wine, they should be ready to go. That's what they're gonna look like, and we're gonna pop them out of the oven. And just remember to be careful when you're taking out your cookies. Wait a couple minutes till they're cooled down and enjoy.